You've seen them every December. The tiny elves, the glittery snowmen, the bottle brush trees. But do you actually know where they came from? Today, we're traveling back hundreds of years to uncover the hidden, forgotten story behind these classic Christmas decorations, stories that stretched across Germany, Victorian England, wartime America, Hollywood, and even the rise of shiny post-war color. Let's unwrap the past. Ornament by ornament. Before ornaments sparkled with glitter or glass, Christmas trees in the 1600s looked surprisingly simple. In Germany, the birthplace of the decorated tree families, hung apples, gingerbread wafers, nuts, and paper roses on evergreen branches. These decorations symbolized hope, renewal, and the sweetness of life during long winters. By the late 1600s, in Cologne, churches introduced a little curved candy to keep children quiet during services. The candy cane, originally plain white. Long before the famous red stripes appeared in the 1900s, these were the first sparks of what would become a massive tradition. By the 1800s, decorating trees became an art and an industry. German cottage artisans began producing spun-cotton ornaments, formed by hand-wrapping cotton over wire armatures. These ornaments reflected Victorian tastes: cherubs, angels, snow babies, animals, and even tiny children bundled for winter. These pieces were delicate, almost doll-like, and traveled to America through immigrant communities. By the late 1800s, U.S. mail-order catalogs, like the early Montgomery Ward publications, started featuring these handmade treasures. Another trend swept wealthy European families: wax ornaments and papier-mâché sculptures from Dresden. Dresden's shimmering, embossed paper ornament stars, moons, birds became status symbols. Owning these meant you were part of the cultural elite. Then came the early 1900s, when Christmas ornaments suddenly went global. Japan entered the marketplace with beautifully crafted ornaments at lower prices. These imports changed everything. Factories began producing ornaments made from chenille stems, bent into animals, elves, and little people. Their fuzzy texture and bright colors appealed to families who wanted whimsy without the high cost. This was also the era of cultural icons like Charlie Chaplin, whose films shaped the playful, humorous holiday marketing of the time. Brands responded with ornaments that matched this light-hearted, spirit-jolly snowmen, googly-eyed elves, and cartoonish characters. At the same time, US catalogs like Sears, Roebuck & Co. exploded in popularity, making Christmas decor available to nearly every American home. World War I and World War II completely reshaped Christmas traditions. Imports from Germany and Japan dropped sharply, leaving families with fewer ornaments available and fewer materials to make them. American companies stepped in, and one unlikely hero changed everything. Corning Glass Works. Their light bulb machines were retooled to mass-produce glass ornaments for the U.S., millions of them. But materials were scarce, so families improvised with what they had: paper, cotton, scraps of fabric, recycled tin. These homemade wartime ornaments are now some of the most beloved vintage finds because they carry the spirit of resilience. After wartime rationing ended, the 1950s and 60s brought a burst of color and optimism into American homes. Bright pastels, atomic shapes, glitter, and glass ornaments known as shiny brights filled stores. Metallic aluminum Christmas trees became wildly popular, especially in department store windows. And that's where our beloved bottle brush trees came in first, used for model railroads. They quickly became a holiday staple. You could see these trends everywhere, from I Love Lucy Christmas specials to the Donna Reed Show, where living rooms sparkled with shiny ornaments and pastel decor. This era defined the classic mid-century Christmas look we still adore today. By the 1980s and 90s, the charm of handmade decor faded. Plastic ornaments flooded the market, cheap, durable, mass-produced. Older techniques seemed outdated, delicate, or impractical for busy families. Millions of vintage pieces were tucked into attics and forgotten. But today, those forgotten decorations are being rediscovered. Nostalgia has returned in a powerful way. People crave warmth, history, and craftsmanship in a tech-heavy world dominated by screens and AI. Vintage ornaments, like the elves, snowmen, and bottle brush trees in your collection, have become symbols of authenticity. They connect us to generations before us and remind us that even a small ornament can hold an entire century of memories.